wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons, the Transformers. The Transformers. More than beastly the Transformers.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting edition of Transformers Reviews. Well, today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the Airstrike Patrol, which consists of the members Visper and Stormcloud, who themselves are, as you can tell, Micromasters. Now, these guys are really kind of highly sought after because they combine to form a sword, which we will look at that later. The funny thing about them, though, is there had been some strong speculation. Are they remolds of the Minicons from Armada that formed the Star Saber? Because it's very similar to how it does that. Well, aside from the aesthetics, when you really look at them side by side, no, they are not remolds. They are entirely new molds, but they just take the principle of how those two combine to a sort of evolved step, if you want to call it that. So what is it about these little Micromasters that make them so superior to the old school Minicons? Well, as you can see on screen, these guys have they have a really good range of posability, and like you can see here, they look really cool. If you were going to put them on the shelf like this, I think it would look awesome. Now, in particular, this one right here is Visper. Now, I got to say that, you know, there are little, you know, tabs of color here and there, which at least he has his face painted different from his helmet. You remember how on some of the old Titan Masters, it was just like two colors, and sometimes the head and the helmet would be the same. So it's nice that this is at least a tad bit of a step up. I mean, if you include the wings, and you'll see more as we get into vehicle mode. And then if we go ahead and look over here at Stormcloud, I think I like this one a little bit better than Visper, just because he, in comparison to Visper, he has a lot more posability than this one right here. Plus, I think I just like his more winged look and like the gun hands, if you want to call it that. So anyway, I'm really excited to show you these guys in their vehicle mode. So let's go ahead and jump right to that. So while I like Stormcloud's robot mode, here in vehicle mode, I have the exact reverse of that opinion, because I believe that Vesper's vehicle mode is actually quite a bit stronger. So let's just go ahead and take a look at Stormcloud though first. And you can see here behind the cockpit on the neck, if you want to call it that, they have the Decepticon emblem. Now, this one, I think the reason it is not as strong is just simply due to the fact that there's hard color cuts. And as you can see, the stuff, it does line up somewhat flush, but not perfect. So it just doesn't flow all that well. It's not a terrible vehicle mode, but again, let's just kind of compare it to Visper. Visper. Oh, okay, I don't know where that came from. But as you can see, his, especially, it lines up just a lot smoother. The red and black looks really awesome. To be honest, it kind of reminds me of like the Blackbird from the X-Men. Plus, again, you know, I always like finding where did they put on the Decepticon emblem. So if you can kind of see there on his tail fin on this side, and it's mirrored over here. So overall, fantastic vehicle mode for him. And without a further ado, guys, let's get to what you came to this video to see, is them in their sword mode. And I gotta say that from different angles, it looks better. But now actually having put them in like a figure's hand, especially from this angle, you can tell basically he is just slinging two small planes around as some sort of weapon. I mean, from like this angle and from over here where it's a little bit more concealed and actually looks like some form of weapon, it looks better. But obviously, I mean, from this angle, I mean, it looks ridiculous. And not saying that the Dark Star Saber back in the day was any better. But yeah. So, okay, hey, if you guys enjoy having them in sword mode, I'm not trying to discredit your joy. I'm actually glad that you do. I'm just saying personally, I don't. But overall, you've seen that these are halfway decent figures. And if you're trying to get them, I wouldn't say don't, because like I said, in the other two modes, they actually have their strong points. So without further ado, guys, that has been the review of Stormcloud and Visper. And until next time, guys, we'll see you in another review.